Hey Dina, what's up?
Hi, Tony. How are you? Good
Oh,
morning.
good morning. Oh, afternoon here. Good morning in LA, right?
Yep, it's a beautiful overcast day in Los Angeles.
Or- Yeah, we have similar weather going on here. Anyways, thank you for coming on.
My
Excited
pleasure.
for today's chat. Why don't we just jump right into it? Tell my listeners who you are, what you do. Give us the who is Dina?
Ooh, that's such a loaded question. What part of Dina do you want? Which personality comes out today?
We'll let
I'm
you
Dena.
pick.
I'm Dena Romeos from Los Angeles. I'm the owner of Power Muse Productions, based out of Los Angeles. And what I do is I produce Greek concerts on the West Coast, not just Los Angeles, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Sacramento. And potentially we're going to keep on moving.
Amazing. When did you start doing this?
It's pretty cool. It's been 10 years. We just
Oh,
celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And what is the brand name that you this all operates under?
Power Muse Productions.
Power Muse Productions. Amazing. So, give me an example. So, obviously, it's concerts. You got Greek singers coming in from Greece. Some from here. Like
Yeah.
we have one coming up soon that's from here, correct?
Yes, Evangelia. It's my first club show that I'm actually doing, a small club with Evangelia, and that's on June 10th at the Peppermint Club here in Los Angeles. Shameless plug. Yes, thank you.
No, no worries. No. I actually recently saw because I was in New York when she performed last
Yeah,
week, and that was
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
first on stage, and it was pretty. She was pretty good.
Yeah, she's great. She's got good energy. She's got a good vibe. She's talented. And she's actually a really, really sweet girl. I just interviewed her as well for my podcast that I do with GreekAFRadio, Muse Cast with Dena. So it was really nice to get to see her, meet her. And she's cool people.
Yeah, she is. So you must have worked with obviously some of the biggest singers Greece has to offer.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to hear a bunch of stories, but before we get into stories, I want to keep it simple. I want to know who are some of your favorites that you've put on in LA or in California, I should say.
Um, oh, I have lots of favorites. Every artist that we do work with, they leave a little imprint on us. We take things from them, and a lot of them we have become personal friends with. Um, I just worked with Anna VC, so I'm just going to talk about that for a minute. And I had a different perception of what it would be like working with her, and it was by far one of the best experiences I've had. She was an amazing person, first and foremost, very chill, fun, wicked sense of humor. So I'm going to say Anna VC is one of them. I've worked with Yanis Plutarchos 4 times already. Love him, love him. He's an amazing human being. His wife. Um, we just did Salikis, which was fun. Kostas Martakis, I worked with him about 5 years ago, and he's become one of my dearest friends in Greece as well. Um, there's I just become so it's really weird because with the Greek artists, they're not like what you would expect like how the American artists because who can are somewhat unreachable. The Greek artists are very, very, very chill and cool people. They're so grateful for the opportunity to come out and work with us, to travel. They're very appreciative. I can't honestly say that I've had to have any like ridiculous demands or anything like that. Sometimes they just want to hang out and just not do anything.
Hmm.
Um, and then when you go to Greece, they see on your social media that you're in Greece and you'll get the phone call or the text, you're here. Why didn't you call me? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, you don't want to impose on their time because they're so busy. Adipas is notorious for that. His son, brother-in-law, and I have become very good friends as well. And as soon as they see, you get the phone call, and it's always a dinner or something. And um, I have just great experiences with all of them. I'm going to say,
So Now I'm going to jump to the stories. Can you touch on a few memorable stories with some of these singers that have come out, or even stories that might have happened in Greece while meeting up with them in Greece?
One of my favorite all-time stories is taking Marinella to Target. We went to Target with our little cart, little red cart, and we're just walking up and down the aisles, and we're looking at things, and it was it was so cool because like she can't go to Jumbo in Greece with a Kariotis, because they know who she is,
Yeah.
and just doing that was just like, and hearing stories from her and her giving me advice, because I mean she's a legend and she's been in the biz for 60 years, and um her just sharing, and it was just like, like I'm in Target with Marinella, and I just wanted to take a picture, like I'm in Target with Marinella, so that was a good story. I just went shopping on Melrose with Anna VC, and that was pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of just, interesting things that, happen with shows and stuff, and, getting a frozen yogurt,
Mm.
So cool stuff.
So walk me through the process. You want to put a concert on. Are you the one reaching out to them, or are they saying, "Hey, I'm doing a spring tour," and then you picking from what's available?
Well, so I'm part of a network here in America. There's other producers like in Chicago, New York, Boston. Also, we have Canadian associates in Montreal, Toronto. We have associates in Florida, Philadelphia, all over. And so we have like what we call a tour manager who basically, presents to us as a collective, as a group. Hey guys, what do you guys want to do? This is what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. And we kind of collectively decide, okay, well, this is who we want to talk to, who we want to pursue. So, but instead of having, let's say, 10 people doing it, we have our tour manager who facilitates all that for us. And then we, look at the calendar, what makes sense. And we just, like puzzle piece it together, and we create a tour.
So you're working with the other regions of the U.S.
Well, yes, in the process, yes, but everybody does their own show.
Right,
so we're
right.
just part of
but
like
the
a team.
scheduling part, you are doing it in a collaborative effort to schedule it.
Yes, well, our tour manager sees what makes sense, because obviously you can't bounce back and forth from West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah.
And so, it kind of has to make sense. So we kind of plan it that way. And he has a vision, and he'll tell us, well, this is a date that I'm thinking for you. And then, a lot of them are fortunate because they have their own venues. And then those of us that don't, then we go into the hustle process of, okay, let's book a place.
Got it. Are most of the performers from Greece easy to work with?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple
I
enough
think so.
answer. Simple
Huh?
enough answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Politically correct Dena just came to the forum.
Exactly.
No,
For those watching on video will notice.
Yes, no. It's, what, I'll tell you, it's kind of interesting because the artists, for the most part, they're very, very easy to work with. They, we've all been doing this. I'm pretty much one of the newer ones, and I've been doing it for 10 years now. They know what they're expecting when they deal with each person in their respective cities. Just like we know their reputations, they know ours. So a lot of them know that, LA is pretty chill. We're kicked back. It's, we're more, it's different here. The thing that comes, excuse me, that's a little difficult at times is, when we have production, and some artists have different production requests, and because, like, for example, Anna VC, she came, there were, I think 22, 23 people on that tour. Salikis, for example, was 6. So it's a little different, that, it's not that it's more difficult. It's just a little bit more of a challenging getting all the moving parts together. That's pretty much
Makes
it.
sense. That makes sense. Talking about the venues in LA, obviously there's some flagships, I'm sure some that you absolutely love. Is it like Night in the Roxbury? Is it like the one in the movie, just like it?
Sure. Yep, absolutely. We did a show
That was the
at
name
the
of the
Rocks.
movie, right? Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think that club exists anymore, but we did a show at the Roxy with Salikis, and it was pretty funny because it's a Hollywood landmark. And my mom came to the show, and I told her, I said, listen, Mom, this is not the Dolby, it's not the Novo, it's not the Orpheum, it's the Roxy. She goes, yeah, but that's like a famous place. And I'm like, yeah, it's famous, but just because it's famous, it doesn't mean that it's what, you kind of expect. It's small, it's intimate, and it's just, I'm like, it's dirty and sexy. She's like, dirty and sexy. I'm like, yeah, we're just going to go with that. It's just, but it's different. It's old. Some of these places are so old, and they're grandfathered in with what they can do, what they can't do. And, like they don't have to have like ADA bathrooms or something because they're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So, one of my most iconic venues that I've worked at was the Dolby Theater. And I did that production with a partner, an Israeli partner who does mega shows throughout the whole United States. And we did Nikos Vertis there, first Greek entertainer to perform there. It was pretty cool. We made the antenna news, kind of like you with Apagorevete. We kind of made it with the Dolby. And I'm one of the luckier ones in the sense that we have a plethora of venues out here that we can pick and choose from. And what my production team does is, we look at who's coming. We see, a lot of them we already know what they're like, how they work in Athens, and we kind of like to find a venue that suits their style, their personality, their genre. So I'm kind of lucky in that sense because, I was able to do Salikis at the Roxy, Verdi's at the Dolby. I just did Anna VC at the Novo. So, and it's weird because it's like there's different styles that go for different places, and I'm lucky in that sense because I can do that.
Yeah. Right. No, that makes sense. And it's also the type of singer size comes into play too, because you have different performers that are going to draw a different amount of crowd. Absolutely. So here in Boston, we have one big hall, and then if it's the next tier down, we use the Cafeteria. So it's a whole different ballgame here.
Okay, is it really called the Cafeteria, or is that what you guys call it?
No, we did the GAPC.
Yeah.
The smaller. No, that's just what we call it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even think that's the Cafeteria. The Cafeteria is like, there's another one that's a bit closer that's a lot smaller, which is literally the GAPC has a mini stage area, has a full bar. So I guess it's in between a concert hall and a Cafeteria.
Because when I think of Cafeteria, I think wooden chairs, tavli, trapules, cafe.
No, in there it's those typical church round tables with the wooden chairs, but it's a little bit bigger. The Cafeteria you're thinking of is the next step down where we'll get like
the choreo.
But we'll get like a performer that's just going to play an instrument all night. Like we'll get something like that. And then you go in there, your ears are pierced because it's so small and they're playing it so loud. This actually happened a couple of weeks ago. I went, Maria and I went because our two mothers were there. They're like, Ella, we're going to be at the Cafeteria. There's a performer. They had the speakers on so loud and it was such a small room where it hurt. And I looked at her after 10 minutes, I'm like, you want to just leave? And she goes, I can't stay any longer. So we got up and left.
Yeah, but you know what does that say about your parents who are older? They were able to handle it.
Yeah, I know.
Or it's quite possible that the older generation couldn't hear that well, so they had to like,
It could be that. So what we actually did, we walked around the building and you can hear the music still. We just went for a walk, for like a 20-minute walk while listening to the music because the whole neighborhood can hear it. So that's actually much more enjoyable. Like nice breeze, we're walking
evening
along.
Stroll.
Evening stroll
looking at the stars.
All right, thank you. Question. All right, I want to know your music style. Give me a few of your favorite songs. We'll cap it off at three. Give me three songs that come to mind that really hit home for you.
Ugh, okay, that's so hard
If you
because
need more time, we can circle back to this one later.
no, okay, one. I I'm from Tripoli, so I love the motika. Like I'm hardcore. Like I love the panigiri vibe and all that. So Bikan Tagirya Sumadri is gonna be one of them.
Okay.
One of my most moving songs is one of Yannis Butarhos's songs. And it was we he performed it on stage in Las Vegas, and that tour was it was 2014. That tour was very hard for all of us because one of our executives had passed away, and I was like, I'm not doing the show. I'm not doing the show. I can't. I was just like devastated. And his son's like, you got to do this. So I'm like, I can. He's like, well, it was my dad's dream. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, we're moving forward. The show was I still get choked up. The show was amazing. And then Yanni plays this one song, and I was like, wow. And my boyfriend just grabbed me and he hugged me, and then the sun came and it was like a group hug. And so that's always going to be, one of those songs. I love all of Yanni's songs. So and then I'm just going to have to say, Apagorepete get Sagapao from Adipa.
It's a beautiful song. I got to meet
is.
him. I got to meet him.
I will facilitate that.
All right.
Prodromo, get a phone call from me.
I got to get a picture with him. We're holding, and I got to give him a shirt that says "Whatever."
But then you have to be wearing a Power Muse shirt.
Perfect. Yeah.
Deal.
All right. Send me a Power Muse shirt. I'll send you a Whatever the shirt. Whatever the shirt.
Done.
So I noticed you started something new recently, and then you actually kind of leaked it earlier in the conversation. You got your own podcast now on GreekAFRadio. Talk to me about that.
Well, I've been talking with Foti and Ari. Angelo Tsarouchas connected us when they had me on their show, Connecting Greeks. And during the pandemic, where none of us could go out or connect and stuff, so they did that show, and I was a guest on there. And then when they rolled out the GreekAFRadio a few months ago, they reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to be on our show, do a podcast? And I'm like, me? They're like, yeah, you're great, you're fun, you talk, I'm like, okay. So that's how it started. And then we were starting with the names and stuff. And so I like the Muse thing because it kind of goes with my brand. And then we're playing around podcast and then News Cast. And then so it made sense. Muse Cast with Dena.
Yeah.
So I've interviewed a few interesting people. So I'm going to have to interview you next on my show.
We'll get it done.
So yeah, and it's been fun. It's been cool. It's been interesting too because I also interviewed Yelena Popovich, which I don't deal with film, so except when I volunteer for film festival. But so it was pretty cool to meet her. And then I also interviewed Yorgos Karamijos because he was doing a play out here. So it's been really interesting and very fulfilling for me because it allows me to touch on different genres of entertainment that I hadn't done before.
Right. You mentioned that they reached out to you over the pandemic. How did the pandemic first off affect Greek American concerts, and how did it affect everything that you were trying to get done?
I think the most politically correct way is like it hosed all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, it effed up everything. I had a show that weekend and we're seeing like this thing is going on and I'm like, what's going on here? And we were within our rights. It was my Chaliki show in Sacramento. We were within our legal rights at that point.
What month of 2020 was that concert supposed to be?
Or was it March of 19?
March
19?
Yeah, 19. Right around the shutdown, right?
It was It was
okay, so March of 2020. Okay, go ahead.
20?
Yeah.
God,
years are just flying by right now. I know.
Yeah, wow.
It feels like it should have been 2019 last year, but it's not.
Yeah, so, and then I was just like, everyone's like, my team's rallying, the show must go on. I'm like, people are gonna, like, we don't know what's going on. So I pulled the plug.
Was Saliki already in the States?
Yeah. He was here. He was coming to our show. I pulled the plug. I could have done it, it just didn't feel right because at that point, everyone, the new information was, oh, it affects old people only. Well, and everyone's like, well, only young people come to your show, to like a Saliki show. I'm like, yeah, but you know what, dude? These young people have old people babysitting their kids.
Right.
If God forbid something were to happen, we pulled the plug, and I'm okay with that decision because I know it was right. Financially, it sucked because at that point nobody knew what was going on, let alone live entertainment venues, let alone insurance. Nobody knew. Everybody thought it was going to be over in 2 weeks. I personally thought it was biblical. It was going to be over in 40 days, 40 nights. And so we shut down my restaurant. 40 days, then the 40 days comes around. My partner and I are like, he's like, you keep on saying it's biblical. You don't think this is going to be 40 years. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So it affected I think entertainment got hit the worst because entertainment, everything was in person. Then the live streaming started happening and people were doing live streaming events. I didn't want to do that. I'd like the connection with people. So and so when I was able to do, my Tsaliki show this year in March, it was like, okay, finally. And I don't really dance at my shows. I just sit there and I observe. I was on the dance because I didn't have tables. I was on the dance floor the whole night long. Everybody was like really surprised. I was just so happy. So happy to be able to connect with people and, hug people, not wear a mask, and hold hands, do a calamatiano. I didn't realize how much, personal human touch meant.
I know. And they were trying to tell us no more handshaking. Come on now. we're gonna still hug.
Yeah. It's funny because I had like 100 bottles of PMP sanitizer everywhere throughout the venue. And it's branding, but also it was just like, if somebody wanted to hold, they can, hold hands again. We're good.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
All right. On to a more brighter situation. We'll move on from the pandemic as hopefully we've completely moved on as a whole. What do you enjoy the most about what you're doing?
Oh, the interaction with people. I love it. I love, I guess especially now, these last 2 shows that I just did post-pandemic, it was just, I love seeing people happy, people dancing. And, sometimes we sit on the side of the stage, behind the curtain, and we just look out at the people. And my son now is helping me as well. And my boyfriend obviously works with me. And, it's like group hug, man. This is what we're about, man. We're like people having fun and people dancing and connecting and drinking. And just when you sit and you just see that, even if not that we like to lose money it's not about the money. It's never, for me, it has never been about the money. It's about like fellowship and kinonia and that vibe, just to see, and then the day after the show, we can't move because we're so physically exhausted, and your phone is blown up with text messages and emails and thank you and the appreciation. Thank you so much. We needed this.
Yeah.
Thank you for the service that you provide. And it's it's amazing. It's just so heartwarming to be able to, I know people are excited and happy for what we do for them, but what people give back to us.
Yeah.
Όλα τα λεφτά που λέμε in Greek,
It really is. Well said. That was a good answer. Let's talk a little bit about Greece. Where are you from in Greece?
Tripoli.
All right. I'm not too far away. Half my family.
Both my parents from Tripoli.
Okay.
So,
how often do you get to go back?
Pre-pandemic, every year, plus sometimes with business a couple of times a year.
Mm-hmm.
I just went back for Christmas. Got COVID there.
Okay.
It was great. Yeah, it was horrible.
Was that during the Omicron spree?
Yeah. And I have tickets to go now in July, so we'll see.
Okay. Aside from Tripoli, a lot of my listeners love tuning in to find Greece inspiration. What are 2-3 places that you'd recommend someone that's never been to Greece, aside from Mykonos, Santorini, because everyone knows that? What are 2-3 different places that you'd say you got to check this out?
I like Crete. I love Crete. I think it's a beautiful place. There's always something to do. Always something to do. I like Stupa, which is on the Peloponnesian coast.
Yep.
I like the history behind that, how Kazantzakis wrote Zorba the Greek there has an amazing sunset. It's still horiol. It's not densely populated with tourists. I'm Peloponnesian, so Peloponnesos rules.
Yeah.
I do like Thessaloniki. I like the different areas around Thessaloniki. I feel Thessaloniki, you could do everything: nightlife, chill, island hop, everything. I like Paros, Rhodos. I like the history with Rhodos.
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's the deal. Like I've told my non-Greek friends, my son Alexander's friends have asked, when they were, Mrs. Romeos, where should we go to Greece? I'm like, just go to Greece. Don't worry about it. Just go to Greece. Yeah. You're going to love
wherever you end up. You can make the
wherever
best of
you
it.
end up. Yeah. Even the most remote horiyo, you're going to get, first and foremost, amazing philoxenia. You're going to always find something to eat.
Amazing food. Because you're not going to be in tourist traps.
Yeah, it's just go to Greece.
That should just be the slogan for the tourism department. Just go to Greece.
Instead of just do it, just go to Greece.
Yeah.
And instead of a Nike swoosh,
we'll put the Greek key.
Actually, I'm branding that right now.
This will be a collaborative T-shirt. We'll start pushing up.
Right. Just do it.
What can you briefly tell me? How do you see the difference between the Greek diaspora and Greeks in Greece, like the culture difference, or is there one?
There is one. Come on, who are you kidding? It is.
No, I'm aware. Just for my listeners, I may not know.
No, I know. I think the Greeks here, up to a certain generational point, they're very proud and they want to be Greek. And the Greeks in Greece are very proud that we want to be Greek.
Yeah.
And I feel that they respect us because, they say quite often when they come out for certain events, whether it's a celebrity or family or anybody, they're like, you're more Greek than us. And I feel that the reason that they say that is because our parents, our forefathers, they left Greece with certain traditions that they grew up with and they instilled in us. And, we have the responsibility to preserve that. And the reason that they say that we're more Greek is because, like, my kid can do Pontian or because of a Greek dance group, whereas their kids are doing hip hop. Right. So they associate that with being more Greek. The truth of the matter is we're all Greek. We just have different degrees of Greekness. Yeah. And I find, though, like the Greek artists in particular, they appreciate, like my Tsaliki show. I referenced it a couple of times. It was the first time that we had kids. Like, I'm talking, kids show up to the show. Their parents can't find a babysitter. They prop them in a chair or whatever. But this was the first time I had about 20 to 30 kids, ages 10 to like 13, 14, on that dance floor, on shoulders, dancing. And it was like, wow, next generation, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so, that makes. You mentioned that up until a generational point. How long do you think that can last?
I'm going to say, in my opinion and experience, third to fourth max. Okay. And that's also, I think, tied in with, if they go to Greek school, Greek church, those are the foundations that maintain the Greekness. And here in LA, it's a little bit different than on the East Coast. We don't have a Greek town like New York or Chicago does. I was in Astoria recently, and I was walking around Hazava, because it's like I was listening. I could hear Greek in the cafeteria and stuff. We don't have that here. Yeah. So the generational gap is going to be a little bit different, the process and the directive. With like the New York Greeks, it might be fifth and sixth generation, whereas the LA Greeks, when they don't have that, cultural immersion, it's going to be maybe third, fourth.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I asked you a few places in Greece to visit. How about I want your 3 favorite Greek foods?
Everything.
Can we fit everything into 3 plates? I think we could. 3 big plates.
Well, if you were to see the spread my mom makes, you would think so. Okay, I love hilopites with kotopulo kokimisto. I like Horeo food. I love horiatiki salata, but it has to be like with the the brick of feta on top.
So you want it with feta? Or do you like it with xinomizithra? Have you had it that way? Have you tried the other way? Mm. Oh, okay. You got to try the other way and then give me an answer.
Okay. And macaroni mekima.
Nice. Yeah, we like similar foods. I love it. Yeah. Before I shift off of Greece, have you ever put on a show in Greece?
You mean as in a musical?
Yeah, as in Muse Productions. Sorry.
Or a show like a show.
No, as Muse Productions. Yeah, I can't.
No, but I got into a yelling match with somebody on the street when they hit my car. So that was a show. But no, a musical production, not yet. Okay. Not yet.
I like that answer. Not yet. All right, just a few more questions before I let you go. I got distracted now. Putting on a show. My mind's everywhere. How do you define success?
Just being able to be content when you go to bed at night and being excited to wake up in the morning.
Good answer. And then what inspires you when you wake up and approach your day? What inspires that work ethic?
I'm very driven. I'm always doing something. And now that, we're back to work, I'm just like working and excited. What drives me My parents were, my dad's passed away, my mom's still alive, and my parents were Greek immigrants, and my parents instilled a very, very strong work ethic in us. My mom was a homemaker, but she worked her ass off, from sunrise, from the moment we got up till the moment we went to bed, she was doing something, whether it was cooking for us, driving us somewhere, charity, volunteering. She was always, always doing something. My dad worked very hard from, sometimes morning, noon, and night, would, steal away maybe 15, 20 minutes just to see us, my brother and I playing sports at the community park. He'd show up with his work shirt and then he'd go back. And I think what drives me the most is I want my parents, whether my dad in heaven and my mom being here, I want my parents to be proud of who I am. And the other thing that drives me is I want to give my son the foundations, the work ethic, the pride, all that my parents gave me. I want to give him, and that drives me.
Amazing. What is one question I didn't ask you wish I did, and how would you have answered it?
Who do you hate? No, just kidding. I don't hate anybody. No, I am kidding. I don't hate anybody. No, I don't know. We talked about food. Oh, favorite drink?
There we go.
Tina's vodka. My new favorite drink is Tina's vodka. One of my girlfriends created a vodka brand. She's Greek, so shameless plug there. And I don't know what else. What do you want to know?
No. I just left this as if I left out a question that you wanted to get in there. Here's your chance.
No, I mean, like what I do on my free time is I like to volunteer and help other people. Okay. I don't know. I just want to be an old person looking back at my life and saying, damn, that was good.
Yeah.
Even with all the bumps and the bruises or whatever, and just, damn, that was good.
Okay. I like that one. All right, one last question, and I ask everyone this before I let you guys go. And what does being Greek mean to you?
Being Greek is a huge part of my identity, my, ethnic identity, my mental identity, my way of thinking, my just a lot of, my religion is Greek Orthodox. It's a very, very, very important part of my life. But it also, being Greek has also instilled things that other cultures don't have, let's say, like the philotimo. It's one word that's not, I believe it's the only word that's not translatable. Philotimo. Yeah. We get that from being Greek. Being Greek has given me, compassion, identity, just they say joie de vivre in French or Italian, whatever it is, but no, it's Greek, man. Greek's given me a lot. I cook Greek. I think when I get mad, F-bombs on one side, Greek curse words on the other. It's 50-50, sometimes more in Greek. When I want to make my point known, it comes out in Greek.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I am Greek, but I feel that whatever nationality I would have been had I had the same parents that I have, I would have been thankful and appreciative no matter what I was. I think I don't know. Pride comes from home, and that was instilled in our home. So, like I said, I'm thankful, but I would be thankful no matter what. I'm just I appreciate that God has graced me with good health, amazing people around me, support system, good friends, very, very good friends who I call my chosen family, family members who I love like friends because sometimes you share differently with your friends than you do with your family. I think I'm pretty lucky. I'm very, very lucky right now. I'm in a good place in my life. I'm happy and content. I'm excited about things I hadn't been excited in a couple of years with, pandemic. I was worried about a lot, like everybody in the world, financials and stuff. Now the tide has shifted. Things are getting better. So I'm I'm happy. Happy.
Nice. That was beautifully said. Great answer.
I just now need a yacht.
Yes.
Oh,
We're working on boats. We're working on boats and yachts. Amazing. Thank you for coming on. Where can listeners find Power Muse, find you, plug your links? Here's your chance to plug yourself.
So PowerMuseProductions.com is my website, and I just remembered I need to update that with current information. Instagram, power.muse, Instagram, Muse Cast with Dena, Facebook, Power Muse Productions, LinkedIn, Dena Romeos. I mean, just,
I'll have all this stuff typed out in the description, but that's a good way to get it out there as well. That's all I have. If there's anything else you want to say, I know I already gave you that opportunity, but you can. But thank you again for coming on.
Well, no, thank you for welcoming me to your platform. I'm very appreciative to be here, and thank you for asking easy questions.
I try to keep it as simple as possible for everyone.
Yeah. And hopefully, you know what? Next time I'm in Boston, hopefully we can connect. Or you and Maria always have a door open here, or New York.
Or New York, because we're going to be in New York a lot more this summer. Yeah. The next time we're in LA, we definitely don't worry. You don't have to tell us. We're going to come knock on the door.
Please, doors always. That's one thing about Greeks. Doors always
doors
open.
Aren't locked. Yeah,
they're never open. Always open. So
amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you, and thank you again for coming on. And we will talk to everyone again on the next episode of Greece Chats. Talk to you soon. Bye.